Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Three Dads and a Console side quest chat. This is a small little interview series that we do separate from our normal episodes, and we try to bring you some very special guests for your enjoyment. I am one of your hosts, Wobble Plays, alongside, as always, Pez, and we are here with our friend from the Jimmy Fund, Catherine Barawi. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so grateful to be here and so glad to chat with you both. You've been such awesome supporters of Dana Farber and the Jimmy Fund, so I'm so excited to chat with you today.
So also, if folks are wondering, watching this on youtube.com/three dads and a console, we are all matching. Pez and I did not coordinate.
Did not.
And then Catherine joined us as well. So we're all matching our awesome bomber jackets. So shout out to JFLG. But before we get started, can you introduce yourself for those who might not have met you yet?
Yeah, sure. I'm Catherine, and I work at Dana Farber Cancer Institute in the Jimmy Fund. And I am the Associate Director of Event Fundraising. So I manage the fundraising in our communities, so with volunteers that do anything that's sort of like a unique and interesting fundraiser, I would say. Any sort of activity-based fundraiser that's not your standard thing. And so that includes the streaming, content creation, and gaming community, which I am so excited to work with. Some of my favorite of our fundraisers and supporters are from the streaming community. So we at the Jimmy Fund are the fundraising branch of Dana Farber Cancer Institute in Boston. So there's a lot of amazing research happening at Dana Farber to move the needle towards curing cancer, and the Jimmy Fund is the fundraising branch that helps support that. So that's who I am and why I'm here today.
Jimmy Fund, always near and dear to the hearts of people in Boston. I remember, I always associate the Jimmy Fund with the Red Sox from growing up, all the banners everywhere. And Pez, you actually have firsthand experience.
So I talked a lot about this during my charity stream, but my mom has cancer, so she's been in Dana Farber for 5-6 years now, and speaks very, very highly of Dana Farber. She said because of Dana Farber, her cancer hasn't progressed. It stayed in stage 1, which is great. So when Wabbit came to me, it was like, hey, we want to raise money for the Jimmy Fund in Dana Farber. I said, dude, I'm in. Let's go. And that's what we did. And the Three Dads team, had a blast doing it. So it's honestly my pleasure to even give back to Dana Farber and the Jimmy Fund, because they have obviously helped not only my family, but friends and families that I know personally. So just even being able to give back that one day, right, that 17 hours that I had was the best.
It was so much fun. Your stream was just a blast.
It was
just amazing.
I have no words. The things, for those that don't know, so at the end of March, I did a charity stream for the Quest to Defy Cancer event that it runs annually. I cleared everything with my wife because it was a long day, and I said we're going to do a 12-hour stream, and then for every $100 we go over our goal, we will do an extra. Every $100 we'll do an extra hour. We ended up doing 17 hours. We gave away, thanks to the Jimmy Fund, we gave away Red Sox tickets, which was wild. Like the AVP was coming in and just like, hey, here's Red Sox tickets. Let's give them away. Played a lot of games.
I have those for you, by the way. I'll get with you after this, but I have the
Sure.
date. Yeah.
Sure. We did like Bean Boozle. We had a bunch of incentives. It was wild, but it was fun. And again, everything I did that stream, all the bits and all the stuff, all of it went to the Jimmy Fund, and we ended up raising a good chunk of money, and it was one of the best things I've ever done in my short Twitch career.
That's awesome. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Turn it around. Did it exceed your expectations? Like, what were you expecting when you did the charity stream? It was like your first real one, right?
That was the first charity stream I've ever done. It was my first first stream that went over 6 hours. I think 6 hours was my longest stream. I had no expectations. I didn't think we would hit the goal. Not only hit the goal so fast, but hit the goal at all. I was like, all right, maybe we'll raise a couple hundred. It'll be cool. We'll have a good time. I'll go. I think I was like planning on going 9 to 9, and that's it. That's it. It's Friday. I still have time to do whatever, hang out with the boys, play games with the boys, whatever. Nope. We hit it right away. I streamed until 2 a.m. My wife was like texting me at midnight. She's like, "You still going?" I said, "Oh yeah, we're still going." So it blew away my expectations, and I am very thankful that my community came by and was able, because I have a lot of Boston followers, so they understood. They already know what the Jimmy Fund is. So I was basically the storybook for them to write the story, and that's what they did. They wrote a fantastic story. I was just the vessel on which we could play that story out. So it blew away my expectations. I was saying to Waba while we were getting the show ready, like, I have big shoes to fill for next year, so we'll figure out how we do that. Going into 2023. But it was great. It was such a good time. I loved it. So definitely blew away my expectations.
It was cool to do. I don't do charity streams typically, because, shocker for our listeners, I'm kind of selfish. This might be a surprise to some of you, but the Jimmy Fund has always been like, you associate Boston charity, and that's like Jimmy Fund. And being from this area, and like I said, going to all the like, you see what they do firsthand. And I didn't know, like, Pez, the situation you're on until this stream. So to like know that like it's directly impacting someone close to you, and seeing all the folks coming in and telling their stories, it was super cool. And just what we were doing, like approaching like other folks, like, we reached out to our friend worked at the Massachusetts Pirates, the Arena Football League, and we said, hey, we're doing something with the Jimmy Fund. Everybody has that brand recognition, so they gave us stuff to give away, some awesome hats. They gave us some mugs that we gave away, and they got us some shirts to wear during it. It was just, it's cool to see a lot of different people who you may or may not know that well, including the different staff that came through to Pez's stream. It was just really neat. And also shout out to our friend Ride or Die as well, who took part in it. I know he's not part of the podcast, but he's another Boston area creator who helped us reach our goals. So that was a fun day, Pez. I was freaking out for you. I was so stoked.
It was a fun day. At about 1 a.m. I was coming down, but it was a good time.
So I know, like, with Jimmy Fund, I know there's obviously a huge presence in Boston, but when you folks had reached out to me, God, was it like, almost say like a year and a half ago, for creators, how did Jimmy Fund Let's Game or Quest to Defy Cancer, how did that come to be? Because this was the second year?
Yeah. This was the second year, I'm pretty sure. Either the second or the third. Yeah. But so right before the pandemic, actually, like right before lockdown, we started the Jimmy Fund Let's Game program, and we hired a staff member, Ken, who has since moved on to a different position, but he started like 2 weeks before lockdown, and then we all went remote. But we invested the resources and the time and the staffing to look at how the Jimmy Fund can get involved in the content creation, gaming, streaming space, because our leadership team recognized that there is a lot of potential there and a lot of great people who want to support charities, and we weren't in the space yet. And so, of course, you want to, as a charity, you want to be adapting and staying up to date and meeting people where they're at, finding your supporters and giving them ways that they can support Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund in a way that's best for them. And my colleague Sarah on my team always says about what we do, it's like you want to help people who have a passion or have a hobby, turn that into something good. And it's something good already if it's your passion or your hobby, but turn it into giving back. And so that's what we want to do. We want to give people the opportunity who have been impacted by cancer, who are looking to make a difference in moving the needle towards a cure for cancer. And we want to give those people an opportunity to give back in a way that's meaningful and special to them, and that works in their life, and kind of works in a way that they're already kind of works with everything that they're already doing in their life. So streaming and content creation is new to me. It's been, I've it's been a learning curve over the past 2 years, but I am just blown away by the community and the amount of support that you all have, and especially Pez, during your stream, I was just completely blown away by your community and the supporters, and just the energy that everyone was able to keep up for those long hours, including you. It's really amazing.
Thank you. I was useless the next day. We had a soccer game. My daughter plays soccer, so we had a soccer game, and it was like 10 in the morning. So we had to hit, we had to hit Dunkin' Donuts, and we just, we did what we had to do. But I love that. I love that the Jimmy Fund, because you think of your standard nonprofit. There's a lot of like donors soliciting, but it's through newsletters and emails and stuff like that. There's very little that I know of that regionally that do the Twitch space. So it's very awesome to see the Jimmy Fund localized, get a bunch of I know that there is a bunch of Boston creators on there, and then just work together to all go towards the same goal. So I think it's definitely a smart idea given the brand recognition that the Jimmy Fund has and the good work that Dana-Farber does, to then use an increasingly growing streaming space like Twitch and YouTube to connect people together and raise money for a great cause.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and it's been great to adapt and reach out to those communities. It was an interesting experience for me because I ran sort of the recruitment for the program last year, and we were trying to recruit people on a national level and not having a lot of success. And then once we started moving it to a local level, we had so much more success, which makes so much sense. But I just didn't realize how many people that we had in the streaming community that are already so passionate about the work of the Jimmy Fund. And we just really needed to get the word out there. So last year we were able to do that. We did a lot of like cold outreach. I think, Waba, I reached out to you on Twitter or something. But it worked because people just didn't know that we had this opportunity.
It was flattering to see anything Jimmy Fund related following me anywhere.
Oh.
Again, and I was because the brand recognition is so high in Boston. So immediately I reached out to Pez and our co-host Court, who again is very familiar with the Boston area, being like, hey, this would be really a cool opportunity for us to get involved in, because we haven't done anything charity related. There are a lot of causes, but like this one is, again, very near and dear. I didn't realize how near and dear it was, but at the time, and then you folks hosted that event at Harpoon, and that allowed me to, I remember I reached out to Ride or Die and said, hey, there's a great, streamer networking event for charity if you want to come. And he and his lovely lady came, who I know, meet up with every year at PAX. And I got to meet some awesome people. I remember, I met up, Whiskey Monster, who does content that's totally different than me. She does like, food and cooking, and, we were able to talk there. And I met Endless Days, who's like super passionate. I think he showed me his tattoo and he gave me some tips on how to incentivize donations. He goes the punishment route, which I'm not brave enough for, but but it was really cool to meet these awesome people and, other content creators who, I try to, I visit their channels. I'll, send them raids, and I'm just looking forward to being able to see him again whenever we do, something similar and talk about what worked, what didn't, what, types of things do we want to do. And I know, I've already got some ideas for next time. So, we're getting excited.
We want to build the community within the community, like we want to, people, you already have this amazing group of streamers and content creators in New England, and we want to build in that community a group of people that support the Jimmy Fund and, like you said, can go brainstorm together or run ideas off each other or hop into each other's streams and hype each other up. The goal is to eventually build a little Jimmy Fund community, maybe not little, hopefully big, a Jimmy Fund community of streamers and content creators that can all support each other. That's really like the dream.
Looks like it's on the way. And to help that, Pez, go ahead.
Yeah. How were you surprised at the success of Quest to Defy Cancer this year, given that it's still, as a kind of a donation, as like a charity event, it's still kind of in its infancy?
I would say I was surprised at the eagerness of people to jump in and do it. I was under the impression, and this is true, I know that this is true, that content creators have a very busy schedule. I mean, you all know. and that you're booked out for months to come and you have your calendar planned. So for us, I was expecting that we were going to get a lot of no's because of the time commitment, and I was surprised at how many people were willing to say, like, you know what, I am really busy, but I still want to do this. And so I think in that way, I was definitely surprised at the success, because and the generosity of the people who are willing to give up their time, their stream, their, and their community to help us out. And sort of on a last minute, like we started reaching out in June and July, and the event was in September. So I was really blown away by how generous people were in the community with their time and their energy.
Now, I know we talked about a little bit of the fundraising. I remember when you folks shared some of the things we could share with your community, it went towards different things. And I remember like one of the examples was like a mobile gaming unit for kids who might be going through the procedures. Could you tell us a little bit about where, what types of things that those fundraising things go to?
Yeah, great question. So overall, what's really unique about Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund is that there's research going on and there's patient care going on. So if a patient comes through the door and they're being treated for a certain type of cancer, what their doctor is seeing and sort of the information that the doctor gets from the patient and the data then can be simultaneously sent to the research lab and used, if the patient consents, to research cures. So everyone, if you walk into Dana-Farber, you're in the company of like the most amazing doctors in the world, in my opinion, but also in the company of amazing researchers who are actively working every single day to try and cure and develop treatments for the illness that you have. And so that's really the bread and butter of what Dana-Farber does and what it's known for. And so this program is the funds are used where they're needed most, and that is really critical. Those funds can be used to sort of fill in any gaps and support the faculty and staff and the administration and sort of just the general day-to-day functioning of Dana-Farber. Something unique about this program, though, is that if you do want to host a charity stream and you want to restrict the funds to a certain area, you certainly can. So we have people that say, hey, like I was impacted by leukemia. Can I put all of my funds towards leukemia research? Of course you can. So it's really up to the content creator. If they want to put it where it's needed most, that will go towards Dana-Farber's life-saving mission and helping the day-to-day at Dana-Farber. But if you have a cause that's really special to you and important to you and meaningful to you, we can direct the funds to support the research or the care in that area as well.
There are, I know, like we said, it's huge in this area, and there's actually a big event coming up that we're all going to be attending. So PAX East, which Pez and I have not stopped talking about, is coming up in just a few weeks, and you shared that you folks are going to have a presence there. Can you tell us a little bit about what to expect and what some of the goals are for attending PAX? Because I believe this is the first year you folks are going to PAX. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I know we had a booth in 2020, in March 2020, again, like right before the pandemic and when we first started the program. So we haven't had a presence there in a while. We won't be having a booth this year, but we will be sending staff so that we can meet you all in person, meet up with our community, hopefully have lunch with some people, coffee. And then also just networking. We really want to spend some time at PAX this year meeting people and focusing on conversations. It's great when you have a booth because you get a lot of traffic, but it takes away from your ability to have one-to-one conversations. So our goal this year is to really have one-to-one conversations with the people that are already in our community or who might be interested in joining our community. So I know that we're running a incentive right now that if you host a charity stream in March, you'll be entered in to win a 4-day pass to PAX. So I'm excited to see who wins that. I know we already have 8 people signed up to do a stream, which is so exciting.
I saw there's also incentives too. So for folks who, that sounds good. Isn't there a jersey being given out if someone reaches a certain threshold?
Yeah, I think if you raise $100, you'll be entered into win a Jimmy Fund jersey, and they look so cool. They look like kind of like the Red Sox jerseys. They're the material of a baseball jersey. They're red and they say Jimmy Fund on them, and they're really a big hit with our community. So hopefully a couple people will have the opportunity to get a jersey.
Just it's really cool to see charities, like reaching out to the creators, rewarding their creators. I think it incentivizes everyone to do better, which I know for me it's a very unique experience when you coming on this podcast for us so we can talk about our experience. It's just very, very neat. It's very cool. It's very appreciated and shows that you folks really care about what's going on.
Well, you all are just amazing, and I just so appreciate that you want to spread the word about Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund. Since you've come on to the Let's Game program, the two of you and your group of friends and in your network have just been the most amazing supporters, and so we're so lucky to have you in our community, and just really very grateful for your support, and it will go a long way to helping Dana-Farber and its life-saving mission.
Now there are two types of ways to get involved. There's if you want to donate to the charity, and then if you want to be a creator and fundraise as well. Could you tell folks what the best ways to do both are? If someone wants to get involved with donating, if they want to see who's other creators who they can donate to, or if they want to become a creator themselves for Jimmy Fund. Let's get
Yeah, definitely. So I would say the first step, if you're a creator and you're interested in getting involved with the Jimmy Fund, would be to join our Discord, and we have a bunch of members in there. The active streamers are in there, and it's a great place where you can learn more about what's going on, and that's where we list what incentives we're having, what events we're having. And so if you're just kind of dipping your toes in and interested in learning a little bit more, I'd certainly encourage joining the Discord. And that way you can also learn about creators who are hosting streams, and you can pop in if you want to donate to them. If you want to extend Pez's stream another hour next year, you can pop in and do that. But then you also can message me or my colleague Catherine. We're both Catherine. She's Catherine with a Y. I'm Catherine with a I-N-E. And you can message us and we'll get you set up on the platform of your choice. We use Donor Drive, Tiltify, Twitch, Charity, whatever you prefer. And we'll help you get going and think of ways to engage your community with Dana-Farber's mission.
And we'll make sure to put a link to the Discord in the video description. Again, youtube.com/3dadsandaconsole. And we can also include a link to our page as well, just so you can see what it's all about. Again, if you weren't able to join during the fundraising, or if you're interested now and you're listening to this for the first time.
That's awesome. Thanks. I hope that we have some new members from this. That'd be great.
And when is I know, like you said, there's a fundraising drive going on now. When is the next one? Is it going to be in September again, or is it going to be?
Our Quest to Defy Cancer event is in September. It runs all through the month of September, and you can stream for Dana-Farber and the Jimmy Fund anytime you want. Like, we are here to support you. We'll help you onboard you and help you with your streaming. But if you participate in September during our Quest to Defy Cancer month, that's when we have special incentives running. So we have special giveaways and prizes. That's where we all got the jackets. If you hit a certain amount when you fundraise, you can get some cool items. So these bomber jackets are actually very nice.
So warm.
So if you are interested in streaming year round, you totally can. But if you want to participate with a bigger group and be eligible for some incentives, September is a great time to participate. And we would love to have anyone that wants to learn a little bit more.
And if you're competitive, and we know most gamers are, just to let you know, the 3 Dads and a Console fundraising team, we were number 1. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%.
It was because awesome. Pez was Wayne Gretzky. I was Brent Gretzky. I had my 1 assist. Ride or Die. Was there a third Gretzky?
I don't know, but you know what? How about the Jimmy Fund is very much partnered with the Boston Red Sox. Waba came in as our starting pitcher.
Oh, this metaphor.
Threw a couple innings. Ride or Die came in middle relief, and then they brought me in as our Jonathan Papelbon to close the door.
That's way better.
We shut the door, baby, and that's it.
So if you want to be a part of that team next year, let us know. Again, we will be setting up a 3 Dads and a Console team. If you want to be a part of it, again, any amount is good. Even if you want to
Mm-hmm.
just retweet it, spread the word, be a part of it, that's totally fine. It's something that, it was really fun for us before. Hopefully we're going to be able to, bring some more people in and you can be part of the Three Dads team. So again, if you haven't signed up or if you're interested in signing up, let us know. We'll invite you to the team. We'll connect you with Catherine as well. And hopefully we'll get to all be a part of it this year because last year was a lot of fun. It really was. I never thought I'd say again. I've never done something like this. It was awesome.
It was
I
great.
also want to say that there's no amount that's too small. So the Jimmy Fund was started in 1948 because there was a child that was sick, and the community literally took pennies and dollars and raised funds in the community for this patient. And that is still our mentality today. Like, grassroots fundraising, community fundraising is the heart of the Jimmy Fund, and there is no amount that's too small. So if you're like nervous, like, hey, I can't raise $1,000, that's okay. Like, we're here to help you, support you, and we're just grateful to have your support and that your community behind us. And spreading awareness is just as important as fundraising. So please know that there's no amount that is too small, and that it all adds up. We look at ourselves as a community of people, and we go further together.
Well put. And yeah, if you know anybody who even might be interested, that's still doing enough. Sharing it with your friends, other family members, any other content creators. Because I think that's kind of how we all grew to met. Pez wasn't able to attend the event because he's a nerd. But we were still able to get him involved, and that's when we were able to meet all of you. So it was very good. Um, anything else you want folks to know about, Jimmy Fund or Quest to Defy Cancer? Where can folks, find more information?
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah. So if you go to jimmyfundletsgame.org, there's a lot of information there. And then our Discord, I would say, is like the best spot to sort of have one-to-one conversation. But jimmyfundletsgame.org will direct you to our main page, and there's some great information on there, as well as the link to the Discords on there as well. And then, yeah, if you're interested, you can email us at jimmyfundletsgame@dfci.harvard.edu, ping us on Discord, or message us on Twitter. And I don't have the Twitter handle. I think it's JF Let's Game.
Yep.
At JF Let's Game. Okay.
That's exactly it, at JF Let's Game.
Cool. Yeah, and we'd be so happy to talk to anyone, even if you're just interested and you're not sure if you want to commit. We're happy to just chat. And I think the most important thing is that, like, this is about giving back and trying to achieve a world without cancer. And so many of us have been impacted by cancer. And Dana-Farber is taking amazing steps forward towards developing innovative treatments, helping patients have a better experience, and feeling better during their treatment, and focusing on them as a whole person. So we have awesome like yoga and meditation and art therapy and all these great things happening at Dana-Farber that's really focusing on making the patient experience positive. And our mission is to save lives and to help those with cancer and move the needle forward. And if you want to be a part of that, we are happy to help you and bring you along into our community. We would love to have anyone here. And we are so grateful to you two and your friends and Ride and everyone else on your team for everything that you did. And also for giving us this opportunity and this platform to talk about Dana-Farber. Like, that is amazing that you thought of this. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining us. We very much appreciate it. I know we've been connecting for a while, so I'm glad we were able to do it, especially very timely, right before PAX, right during another fundraising push. So this was it all worked out. So I'm glad we were able to have you on. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Yeah. And Pez, I'll message you about those Red Sox tickets. So.
Sounds good.
It'll be ready and waiting, inbox open.
I told the guy that won them that he has to take me.
Oh, perfect.
He said sure.
There you go. Hopefully it's a nice day like today when you go.
Right.
Yeah.
So folks, again, this was for Three Dads and a Console side quest chat talking about Jimmy Fund Let's Game. All the links are going to be below and how you can get involved. Three Dads and a Console. We usually talk about gaming from a parent perspective, but We always like having separate, interviews with games related things, and this was a very worthwhile conversation for probably the best cause we could think of. So thank you again. If you want to see more of what Three Dads and a Console is, you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Three Dads and a Console. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any podcast platform of choice. You can find us there. And we're also, on Twitter as well if you'd like to find us too. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you again, Catherine, for joining us. Make sure to go check out Jimmy Fun Let's Game. If you can donate, if you can retweet, if you can spread the awareness, anything is enough. And that's just our little ask from you. And thank you again, folks, for your time and attention. We'll see you in the next episode.